this top 10 is the top 10 worst AAA games. Top 10 worst.
Mm-hmm. Did I go last? Did you go last time or me?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, my number 10 game. My number 10.
Did you call me?
My number 10 is Lord of the Rings Gollum, dude.
Oh yeah, terrible, gross.
This was a fucking abysmal game.
Why would you make a game about Gollum?
But coming from a AAA studio, so like, it's kind of like, you remember the old Lord of the Rings games?
Yeah,
that were like really good.
Yeah.
Oh hell, even Shadows of Mordor, I thought it was really good.
Yeah. It's like,
But,
hey, let's make
that
one about
studio's
Boromir.
gone. Yeah, that studio is gone. But this Lord of the Rings Gollum was just complete trash. What was the studio that made this? Let me look it up real quick. It wasn't on my tip of my tongue. Let's see. Nah, that's like anyway. So yeah, Lord of the Rings Gollum. But I mean, this was actually hyped up a lot at the beginning.
Yep.
Because it was a new Lord of the Rings game, right?
Yep.
And it ended up being just a complete trash piece of shit.
Yep. All right.
Go ahead.
My number 10. My number 10. Okay. So we talked about Square Enix. They're actually on my list a lot. So Ilnix, I don't know how they say it. Square Enix should stick to RPGs and RPGs only. It should stop fucking. Number 10 is Left Alive. It was a tactical stealth shooter spinoff of Front Mission. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, terrible. Square Enix put their name on it, thought this was a good idea. This is why they're fucking terrible. So for every Final Fantasy remake, I got a Left Alive for you, buddies. Trash.
My number 9, Grant, is Resident Evil 6.
Oh boy, mine that's on there too.
Capcom.
Let's a little bit further up.
Yeah, Capcom just dropped the ball on this.
This was the perfect idea of we don't know what to do with, like, we've literally run out of ideas, but we have to. I feel like it's kind of like, you ever notice, like, it reminds me of like a musical artist who has to put out like they're contractually obliged to put out 4 albums.
Yeah.
The first 3 albums are good, but the 4th one's rushed and it's kind of shitty because they just had to. That's what this seemed like. That's what this seemed like. It's kind of like it just kind of just threw everything, all the ideas that they took, they didn't want to use for the other ones. They put them all together for this one.
All right, Grant, go ahead.
Number 9, guess who's back on the docket? Square Enix for Marvel's Avengers. Okay, Ed. So Marvel Rivals, great game, right? So you think if you put Marvels and Avengers, wow, Square Enix, sign me up. Meh. Terrible game. Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix. Crystal Dynamics, Lord, man. What were y'all thinking?
This one had like the gameplay loop was just fucking horrendous.
Here's the thing: is the bugs were terrible, and even
they had monetization for this game, like fucking greedy monetization.
Yeah,
and it was live service. It was just fucking trash. This was higher up on my list, but yeah, I remember being excited for this game. I got it, and I was just like, "What am I playing? This is just lifeless. It's soulless." Yep. And how can you make a game called Marvel's Avengers and fail so badly?
Right? Like, just that name alone.
Well, I mean, this was back. Marvel, the Avengers Endgame. I mean, this was like still popular.
Correct.
You know, Avengers was awesome.
Like, when I saw this, I was like, "Oh shit, Marvel's and Square Enix. This is gonna be like a badass RPG."
Yeah,
it was not. It was terrible.
Grant, my number 8. I don't know if you heard of this game, Babylon's Fall. It was made by Platinum Games and held published by Square Enix.
Square Enix. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people were like, "Oh, Square Enix is such the best company ever."
So this game was live service. It was a train wreck, and it was dead on arrival, Grant.
On arrival, dude.
Not quite like Concord, but it was dead on arrival.
Like, when have you ever heard of a Square Enix game just be dead on arrival? Ever? Like, you know, this is what I'm talking about with that company. They have eternal problems that are terrible. Their eternal of the company is terrible. But I'm not finished with them. Go ahead to the next one, because my number 8 is Resident Evil 6. You're on number 7.
was a big letdown. So Grant, BioWare came out with these 3 awesome games. I mean, the third one was still really good. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 gave us a sci-fi opus. It was still today some of the best sci-fi games you can possibly play, sci-fi action games, and it was RPG too. All right. Well, they decided to go away from Shepard and a lot of things that made Mass Effect, why Mass Effect became so popular and such good games, and still today some of the best games ever made. They decided to make a game called Mass Effect Andromeda, which was just a buggy, unfinished story plot. It was just, and it was the whole world was just empty. Like it was just they got away from everything, and they decided that it was I would like, I always want, when we talk about these games that flop, I always like to go, I wish I could visit the development process of the games, like sit in the room with these guys when they come up with ideas,
and then
or however they come up with
and
ideas,
just laugh at them profusely.
Yeah, and make fun of them.
Yeah,
but yeah, horrible writing. I mean, it wasn't a Mass Effect game. They should have just called it Andromeda and not put the Mass Effect title on it. All right, Grant, go ahead.
Number 7, 2006. Ed, I had a PlayStation 3 in 2006. I remember you came home from Okinawa and you're like, oh, you got a PlayStation 3. I want to play it. I said, all right, cool. But I got this game, and this game was called Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, you would think, oh boy, Sonic the Hedgehog, PlayStation 3, sign me up, right? New graphics, worst game ever. They try to put a human hedgehog romance relationship. Like, that was terrible. The load times of the game was awful. Like, tails would fly and like get stuck in a building. Terrible. Like, just an awful game. Story was bad. This whole game was just bad. Bad game. But the reason why I put this one on here is because it leads up into my next one. But go ahead.
Grant, my number 6. Xbox. They bought some studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
They bought some studios over the time, and they decided to come out with a exclusive. And they hyped this game up so much. There's a game called Redfall, Grant.
Oh boy, I know that game. It's
and
terrible.
This came from
Arcane.
It came from Arcane, who had Deathloop. They had Dishonored. They had a good resume of games they've made. Well, when this game dropped, the AI was complete shit. Like, the enemies didn't even see you. They just fucking
the gunplay was awful.
You were like right next to them. They just fucking like stared at you. So yeah, terrible AI, painfully, like, the world was another empty world. Like, you just ran around in these houses,
but also the concept was shitty. A vampire co-op shooter? What?
Well, there's just nothing to do when you're running around. Yeah. Just go, you follow the quest or, the objective, but there's just nothing in between. Like, you run into vampires every now and then, but it's very empty. And supposedly, I guess they did do an update, like, way too late to make it a little bit better, but no one still came back to play the game. It failed horribly.
All right, my number 6. Ed, I told you about Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Well, this game was also made by Sonic the Hedgehog. And guess who? Square Enix. Balan Wonderworld.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Square Enix, man.
Are you starting to see a trend of my top 10 here?
Yeah. Well, I'm about to get to Square Enix again too.
I mean, good God Almighty.
My number 5 was a Marvel's Avengers, so we can continue.
Okay.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is also another Square Enix game. Oh boy, imagine that. The Quiet Man. Ooh, the Quiet Man. A mute protagonist. He didn't talk. Oh, the Quiet Man. This is what we come up with. We come from Cloud to Sephiroth to the Quiet Man. Ooh, are you feeling the creativity in the room? Get the fuck out of here. This game's fucking trash.
My number 4 is Battlefield 2042.
That's my number 4 as well.
Yeah, awful. Battlefield. Like, I love Battlefield. Don't get me wrong. Like the other games.
Yeah.
But this one was also like, it had bad maps, modes, and it missed a lot of stuff, like basic things from your prior.
I feel like with this game, what they were doing is because Call of Duty was like pumping out games, like not just maps, just games, like, and they needed to do something to like try to like close the gap because they were getting kicked in the dirt. I mean, let's just be honest. Call of Duty was running it for, the last 8 years, it seems like. And they were trying to do something that was just try to close the
Well, they're
gap.
trying to do a modern warfare.
Yeah, and
You
it
know what I
did
mean?
not. And it was modernly terrible is what they did.
Yeah, they tried to do that. All right, Grant. You said that was your number 4 too, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, my number 3. Now, this game is kind of unique because it did eventually get kind of better. But Fallout 76, when it first released.
Yep. That's my number 3 as well.
Yeah, it was another PR nightmare and fucking buggy ass mess. And it didn't feel like your other, it didn't feel like the last Fallouts, just, your single player ones. But supposedly from what I'm hearing after all these updates, I mean, it's a better game now, I guess. I mean, but it's just not interesting enough for me to go back. All right, Grant. That was your number 3 too?
Yep.
My number 2, Grant, from EA and BioWare, Anthem. Anthem, when it was, I remember the first like exclusives or world premiere, everyone was like, oh my God, this is a Destiny killer. This is the next greatest thing. And it looked cool. And when you play the game, like it's somewhat fun, but it felt like you could tell they just stopped doing anything to it as soon as the game released. Like you knew that like when it came to updates and patches and stuff, they hardly had any. They didn't have to do anything to fix this fucking game. And it had a good premise, and they could have probably added on more updates to it to make it better, but they didn't. And they just let it fail. They just gave up on it.
Number 2 is Aliens Colonial Marines. Gearbox Studios, man.
Gearbox. Oh, yeah.
Yep. The AI was awful. Like, the demo looked completely different than the actual game. Like, the demo looked good. The game was terrible. There was actually, like, a typo in the code that, like, made the enemy behavior, like, unplayable. This game became a meme for failure, dude.
There was what was it? They've had some. So I like they're kind of hit or miss a lot on these Alien games.
Yeah.
Alien Isolation, I really loved.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fantastic game, but it got the critical reception by major publications like slammed this game, but it was actually really good. Like the user score for this game was really good. And there's another game that's kind of like a RTS somewhat is what is it called? Dark Descent. Have you ever played that?
I know what it is.
It's really good. Like it's surprisingly good. But that's also a game that got really good user ratings. But yeah, Alien games are really hit or miss.
Yeah.
And it's funny how they made a really good one and never made a sequel to it or something similar to it, which was Isolation.
Oh.
That was pretty. I mean, it was legit. Like we had people were missing the dead space, even though this is more survival. This is more survival, kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
But making those scary space games, dude, they're few and far between.
Yeah.
All right, Grant, my number 1 is a surprising one. Okay, because I just thought they really dropped the ball on this one, but it later became one of the best. Well, I would say best open world games later on.
Mm-hmm.
That's Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that had
at launch.
Yeah, it had a bad launch.
At launch. This one was like it was riddled with bugs. I mean, the game.
I was gonna put that on my list.
I still finished. I played it on like the Xbox. What was it? Xbox One X or whatever it is. When it first released before the Series X. I played it on that, and I liked the game, but it was so unpolished.
Yeah.
But I still loved the game. But the hype for this game was really a big failure when it launched. But then they fixed it, dude. Boy, did they go at it, and they brought awesome DLC and Phantom Liberty, and it ends up being today is one of the best open world games.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was gonna put that on my list, but they fixed it. But so I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. My number 1 is Anthem. I've never been more hyped about a game than, dude. I'll never
remember us talking about it,
dude.
like,
I never
forget
talking about it, dude. I remember buying this game, downloading it. I'll never forget it. It was on a Friday night, release night. I was like, man, I'm about to buy this game. I canceled all my plans. No honeys, back away. No ladies. I can't be with you tonight. Can't be with y'all tonight.
You just said you and what? Ladies?
Back away. Shoot.
Hey man, hey, we don't lie on this podcast, buddy.
Shoot.
We don't lie on this gaming podcast.
Get out of here. So
you ain't have no honeys and nope.
Anyway.
No one calling you.
That's
only person texting was me. Yeah, no lineup.
It's pretty much true. Anyway, I immediately was disappointed in this game. Now I will say this: it's like everything that they did about this game, they put it into the flying. The flying was the best part about this game. Here's the thing: is I flew around for like 2 hours hoping that this game, I think I was like manifesting the law of attraction, manifesting this game to get better, and it never did. I played. I'll never forget this. I played this game on a Friday and deleted it on a Sunday. That was it. And I've never played it again.
Such a letdown.
Dude, I was so disappointed. Like, I even got my brother-in-law to buy it. Like, he was playing it. And he was like, this game, here's the thing. I hype this game so up in my head. I always do this. Like, if I hype something up and I want to give it a chance, like, a piece of me knew it was terrible, but he was like, man, this game sucks. I was like, shut up. You don't know nothing about gaming. I was like defending the game. I was like, do you take your ass? Do you shut your mouth? But he was right. It was a terrible game.
Yeah. All right. That was the top 10.
That's the top 10.
Top 10 worst AAA games. Okay. I mean, there's so many more, but.
Oh, yeah. But I should have, what I should have done was because we already added a bunch of them. We should have did top 10 worst Square Enix games just to piss everybody off. That's the thing. Here's the thing: that's what people don't understand. That was the point of me putting a bunch of Square Enix games in there, because for every Final Fantasy remake and for every, first of all, Final Fantasy 13 would have been on there. I'm going to tell you, trash game. For every game, for every Final Fantasy 14, or for every, what else? What's the other game I'm thinking of? Not the non-Final Fantasy game that's really good. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
What are you talking about?
With the chick with the big ass. What we're talking about?
The chick with the big ass.
Yeah, it's a Square Enix game. The one that they made. The real good one.
I don't know.
Anyway, for every game like that, there's a bunch of these other. I have a top 10 list of worst ones.
What game? I'm curious now. What game you're talking about?
Now I can't even think of it.
I think everyone is curious of what game you're talking about here. A game with the girl with the big ass.
I have to type in good Square Enix games. It's probably going to take me back to the 90s. Let's see. Nier Automata. There we go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was an awesome game.
That's what I'm saying. So for every time, Nier Automata was good. You sound like Krang from Ninja Turtles. For every Nier Automata was good. I can name 17 games that were terrible. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Nier Automata also came out 8 years ago.
Yeah, but my point is this: I couldn't name any SquareSoft games that were bad. I can name some that were better than the other ones, but then none of them were bad. Can you name a bad SquareSoft game?
I can't name a bad.
Brave Fencer Musashi is probably my least favorite, but it was still a good game.
I like Brave Fencer.
Yeah.
No, man, I can't think of a bad SquareSoft game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can rank them from good to worst, but worst is still an 8.
What was that dumb game they did make? Were they still SquareSoft then? Something, the Bouncer or some shit? Were they still SquareSoft then?
I think I remember. I know what you're talking about. They were trying to do something different.
Yeah, they were trying to do something different.
You might be right.
Let me look. The Bouncer came out in 2000.
They might have still been SquareSoft then.
Square. Let's see. Square. I mean, they're not saying SquareSoft.
Yeah, because I don't think they became Square Enix until 2001.
Electronic Arts. Oh no, it was SquareSoft. It's on
Yeah.
the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
I didn't play it.
When it first I played it a little bit. It was okay, but it wasn't. It was not a good game. I would say. I don't think it was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my point is, my point is, you had to like research. You had to like really think about a bad SquareSoft game. You know, like I just listed 5 bad Square.
Yeah, to be prepared artists. Yeah.
Like I just listed 5 bad Square Enix games. You know, and I could, and that's not even, and I could name 3 bad Final Fantasy games.
They need to bring 2B back some way. All right. It's 8 years since the last Nier game. Why?
I'm just saying, man. Like my point. Here's my thing is let me just tell you what happened. Let me just tell you what I saw before we get into the random game roulette. That's going to pick a terrible game. I already know it. I feel the energy of a bad game coming up. Go ahead and get that cranked up. Go ahead and just type it in while I talk. Immediately, whenever everybody was praising 𝐿 Obscure, how about to say Square Obscure, 𝐿 Obscure. All the praise was coming out. Dude, all the meat riders were coming out for Square Enix. Like I'm talking about like all the big dildo dick riders were coming out. And I'm talking about double-sided dildo dick riders were coming out for this for Square Enix. I'm talking about it was but what about they would do it if they made a Final Fantasy 13 remake. No, that would actually put them into bankruptcy because nobody likes that game because it's fucking trash. Lightning is a trash character. Everybody in that game is awful. I can't name one character in that game besides Lightning, and she's trash. So I can imagine they're all dumpster juice. So just like, and then everybody's like, well, and I was like, okay, yeah, you've named 3 good games. I can name 17 bad ones. Since they became Square Enix, they have the success rate is a lot lower. Dude, like I said, Squaresoft, 90% clip rate of successful games. Square Enix, like 60% good games. It's a huge hit. That's a big hit. That's bad. That's not good. Especially that's like, it reminds me of what is it? It's kind of like when Shaq was playing for the Celtics. He was once a dominant player. Now he's coming off the bench.